Well, I've done what I was going to do today and I got plenty of time left, so I think I'll do a little feather stick tutorial. First thing you need is some wood. Now that's a piece of wood I cut on the way in earlier. It's a bit thin, but it should do. And I'm going to cut a knot-free chunk out of that now. Now I'm going to split it that way. I'm going to split them down again into eighths. Now ideal, I'd want them longer than that. But that was the knot-free piece. There are a few little knots in it, and I'll explain something about them now. What I'm going to do, I'm going to pick the best four. And when I say the best four, I mean the straightest ones, with as little knots or bumps as possible. Crap. Okay. Crap. Okay. Okay. Crap. Okay. Crap. There we are. So there's four. I can split these down further if I want. I'll split one down further. And I'll do the technique without the batten because they're thin. So let's go with this one. So technique, and this is Mors Kochanski's technique. I'm not claiming I'm an expert. So hold the knife like that. Put it on. And rock it back and forth. You can't hit this hand because that hand's your stopper. Well, that's the skinny end, we don't want that kindling. Now we're left with that. So I'm going to pick the straightest edge, which is that edge, and it's got a bit of a bad bit in it. So we'll whack that off. And we're good to go. With coniferous wood, you want to go from the outer edge. So that's the edge I want. I'm looking down it now and there's a bit of a kink here, so we'll hold the kink. And I'm going to make a curl down there. Now, sometimes the first few curls fall off. Don't worry about that. See, they come off, but you have created a stop. I rotate the stick as I'm going because to get fine curls you want to take the ridges off. Now I'm using the middle of the knife for this. A lot of people use that portion. I don't, very rarely, because I find it digs in too deep. So to start off with, use the middle portion. So as I'm going, I'm rotating the stick. The more pressure you put on, the deeper you will cut. So you basically just want to glide it over. So there's your start. Now if this is an igniter stick, well, what I call an igniter stick, I want some really small curls on there. For really small curls, I use the tip. The better you get at this, the faster you can do it. Now, a lot of people, when they're doing these, they'll do a few and then tilt the knife. I have found that I cut things off when I do that, so I'll use my thumb. So that's your igniter stick. Let's give it a go. Like my fire ferro rod, extremely worn, but that's living on my EDC pouch now on my belt. Nice sharp spine. Now I can either give it some welly and do it like that, or push with the tip. To be honest with you, I'm scared I'm going to snap it, so I'll do the tip method. Now we've got our igniter stick, we can obviously use that with the fine curls for lighting with a ferro rod. We can use 2 or 3 of them as a tinder bundle if you've got charred cloth or charred material, although I don't find it that good with charred cloth. But as you've probably seen if you're a regular viewer, I have lit many a bow drill fire with 2 or 3 igniter sticks. They work just fine. Another good thing with the igniter stick is if you've got a jet lighter and they use quite a lot of fuel, if you want to conserve that fuel, light it with the igniter stick because it'll light quick. So next thing, you want a bit more of a sustainable feather stick, and that's basically just the igniter stick without the thin curls. Not much point me demonstrating that because it's pretty straightforward. And then you can go on to thicker feather sticks as a kindling. Dig that knife in deep. Whack it off. Now, ideally I'd like them bigger than that, but this is what I got to hand. So much thicker they are, and you can do them with a big piece of wood. Bit of an afterthought, I'm thinking grinds, blade shapes. as you know, I do a lot of feather sticking, and that's why I've got a shallow curve on my blades when I make a knife, or if I buy a bushcraft knife, I'll always look for that shallow curve. Now, I've got my Falcon F1 Pro with me, and this is basically designed as a survival knife. It hasn't got a bad curve on it. It was quite upswept because it's meant to be used for everything from skinning. You know, that'll skin, but it's not ideal. Something with a deeper belly here is better for skinning, but it's not as good for feather sticks. I'll make one now. One thing this is good at is splitting. Shame the piece of wood isn't any good. Let's try this one. Little knot there. Again, I'll use the outer edge. As you can probably see, this wants to dig in more. That grind, a lot more difficult to get them very fine curls. No, it is difficult to get them, and especially being on camera, I feel like I'm on the spot. Not a patch on Scandi, a perfect zero Scandi. It'll light. Well, let's have a look, see if it'll light. Bear in mind as well, the back spine on this, I have ground it down a bit with diamond stones. Can't do it on the tip with this because of that grind, that is too round. Well, it lit, but it's not a patch on the Scandi with the sharp spine. Still a good knife. It's got to be a good knife because I've still got it and I haven't sold it. Well, gents, that's another video come to an end. Hope I've entertained you for a bit, and more importantly, I hope you found it informative. Well, a thumbs up is always greatly appreciated. A share is fantastic. Okay, so until the next time, ta-ra. Well, I've done the main task of today and I've found I've got plenty of time left. What I'm going to do now, I'm going to give you a quick feather sticking piss.